Good afternoon, Facebook, wherever you're checking in from. There's something that has been really striking me to my core today that I thought I would jump on here and chat openly about, just in case it strikes a chord with anybody else on here, and that is the idea of alignment. So if you have been diving into the world of personal development, you have likely heard this word, alignment, in terms of like high vibration or low vibration or any kind of buzzwords like that. But the alignment that I want to talk about today is not so much any kind of external alignment or idea about what we think is good or what we think is bad, but more this idea of whatever we feel inside and being directed more from our internal compass, even when it doesn't make logical sense on the outside or to the outside, or even on a cerebral level, it doesn't make sense to us, but our inner feeling, our inner heart, our inner gut, our intuition, whatever you want to call it, it all kind of feels the same. Is speaking very clearly to us. And it's this feeling in us when we are in alignment and when we are out of alignment, and I'll share, when I feel out of alignment with something in my life, I want to, all my kind of dysfunctional stuff starts coming up. So I start wanting to not be outside as much. I start wanting to, I feel more tired. The foods I want to eat are different, and I start wanting to eat a lot more food. I feel less creative. I feel less expressive. I feel less certain on my path. I start questioning everything. Everything just kind of feels like it's starting to fall to shit, if you can relate to that feeling. And always, even when I don't want to acknowledge it, always I know what it is in my life that is out of alignment. And here's the truth about alignment. You don't get to choose, unfortunately, or fortunately sometimes. You don't get to choose what's in alignment for you and what's out of alignment for you. It is something that is lived through you. It's something that you are either aligning with. It just is. What's in alignment for you just is, for your higher purpose or your higher power or your higher potential on this planet, the reason why you're here. What's in alignment for you is already written. You get to choose whether you align yourself with that or not. You get to choose whether, when this feeling of being out of alignment comes up, which it will, so maybe you'll start getting sick, maybe you'll start feeling tired, maybe things will just start feeling hard, things that didn't feel hard before. Your energy will be less, your motivation will be less, maybe your skin will start breaking out, I start getting eczema, Things that used to work for you might stop working for you. They might not work anymore. And once you become aware that it's no longer in alignment with where your soul is trying to take you, you have a choice to either stay with this external thing that you're attached to, and sometimes that's difficult because it might be a person, it might be a job, it might be somewhere that you live, it might be a food identity that you've become really attached to. So you can choose. You can stay with those behaviors or people or actions or places, but it doesn't change that you're out of alignment. And once you're aware that you're out of alignment, or even if you're not, this calling for your true path doesn't stop. It just keeps getting louder and louder and louder and louder, and the messages keep getting louder, and it keeps feeling harder, and your energy keeps going down until you find the courage, or until you find the strength to be able to let this stuff go that's no longer in alignment and come back into vibrational alignment. And as soon as you do that, you will feel it. Everything will feel lighter. You'll be back in flow. Everything will feel easy again. You'll feel light. You'll feel joyful. You'll feel energetic. You'll be in alignment. And it's a physical feeling in your body. And here's the other truth about alignment. when we are not in alignment, our higher gifts either don't come to us or they seem impossible. We don't get the ideas on how we will create these ideas that we're getting. When we're in alignment, that's when the solutions come. That's when the ideas come. That's when the courage and the confidence comes. That's when the health comes. So life is easier when we live in alignment. But where this becomes difficult is, what happens if you're in a relationship that is no longer in alignment? And I'm not talking about fear here. I'm talking about true soul alignment. It's not an easy thing necessarily to end a relationship contract, to uncouple, if we're talking about our romantic relationships. When we're interacting and engaging with other people, people have mortgages and commitments financially. So if a job's out of alignment, it's not necessarily that we can, hopefully we can pivot more quickly to be back in alignment. But sometimes sometimes it can take some time, and sometimes it can take some trust and that first awareness of, okay, this is not in alignment with me anymore. What do I need to do? How can I get back in alignment with as much love and grace as possible? And sometimes that can be difficult to do, especially if you're someone who sees that you're out of alignment, you just want to get back there. So they're my two truths about alignment. The other truth is that there isn't any point fighting or resisting what is and isn't in alignment. Once you get the awareness that something isn't in alignment anymore, you might be like, fuck, really? Really? This isn't in alignment for me? This isn't true for me? This isn't any longer serving my purpose and bringing me closer? And it's not about judgment, or it's not about better than or less than or anything like that. It's purely a vibrational alignment thing. Once you get that awareness, you can try and resist it. You can try and talk your way around it, whatever, but it's always going to be there as the elephant in the room, sabotaging your experience of life. So the quicker that we can acknowledge what is in alignment, and the quicker we can gracefully move back towards that and let go of the things that are blocking our ability to live our truth, the easier that life is going to feel, the more in flow we're going to feel, the lighter we will feel vibrationally. So I hope that helps. That's something that's really speaking really strongly to me. There's an area in my life that has become out of alignment, that, it just gets louder and louder and louder and louder until you listen. And you really, if you are committed to living a life of happiness and peace and inner presence, I guess, you have no choice but to live in alignment. If you're living in a city where you're just living out of alignment, it's going to be so much harder to be present. It's not that it's not possible, it's absolutely possible. But everything in life will feel like more of an effort than if you align yourself vibrationally with what your soul is calling you to do. So I hope that helps, and I hope that you find the strength today to shift more back in alignment with yourself in one small area.